Welcome, adventurers! You've made it to the Wind Down, the live stream at the end of the Geekverse. It's a chill place to hang out here as the sun sets on another day. We're here to have a little chat, reflect on the day's successes, and prepare for a better tomorrow. So settle in with your favorite beverage this evening.
May I tempt you with a cup of chamomile?
Why, thank you, Dory. I would love a mug of tea this evening, but perhaps you would rather have some coffee, though I do recommend decaf this late in the evening. Or perhaps maybe a cold brew is more your style.
Oh, no, thank you, Dory. A little red wine. For me, Isaac.
Sounds like an excellent choice, Gandalf. Whatever you want, it's yours. Could I offer you a bourbon, a martini, an old-fashioned, or something perhaps a little stronger? Ugh. Well, I mean, if that's really your thing, then okay, but I hope we can find something a bit better than that.
Romulan ale. Why, Bones, you know this is illegal.
I only use it for medicinal purposes.
All right, now we're talking. I'm Heath, and I'll be your host. Welcome to my home. Come one, come all, writers, artists, sculptors, storytellers, board gamers, streamers, dungeon masters, fans of sci-fi, fantasy, geeks of all kinds. Whatever your fandom, you have a place here. For soon it will be time for another long rest so that we can recover our hit points, our spells, and our abilities, so we'll be ready to fight on for another day tomorrow. But first, we all need a little time to reflect. Because you've survived another long, perilous day of wilderness treks, dungeoneering, and random encounters. And that's worth celebrating. Let's tell the tale. It's time for the Wind Down. It will improve your life. It really will. Give it a chance. Here we go. Hey! Oh, there I am. Oh, hey, everybody. Hey. Welcome, everybody. Man, I have been absolutely consumed with this Hacked Edge / Zorn dungeon project. I mean, I have been living it for, well, I mean, is this week 4 or week 5? I think we're past week 3, week 4 or 5 or something. And I mean, this is basically all I have been doing is trying to get this operational. And other than going outside to like do some yard work, because I'm like, I've got to do some yard work. But and I got to get outside too. I got to do something else than look at this computer screen. But I am enjoying it, and I am hammering it hard. So we are here. Welcome to everybody. This is gonna be a fun night because I do have some combat functionality up in the Bloodwell. So okay, let's bring this up. I haven't done any work on basically the front end, like with the tavern. So the tavern should be basically as you have seen it the last time we were working. So here we will see that we have had some deaths here. I might reset the death. I don't want to reset the death counter once actually we start live, but I don't want all the test people to count as far as deaths go. But as you can see, we currently have 25 people in the tavern, and I think that there's a limit to the number that I'm showing here, but there are 25 people in the tavern. Oh, so Sable Phoenix just ice-spawned, bang spawned. Oh, a rare character combination, a battered berserker. Whoa, this is crazy. A battered berserker with a strength of 3, but a wisdom of 18 and a charisma 5. This is a rare combination. He's also 7 hit points using a battle axe. So there we go. That's quite a character. So if you want to, I do have, you will see over here, like I haven't done any work, but I noticed on the front end, that when I scroll down, I can't see everybody. So you haven't lost your characters. There are 25, or actually probably now 26 people here in the tavern. But I did make a note that my UI here is not letting me scroll down to see everybody. But I definitely wanted to scroll down and see everybody. But it's still putting the new ones up there at the top. Oh, Ferris. Okay, here we go. Ferris just came in and spawned. Oh, it spawned an ultra rare. Man, it is another really low. Look at this. An ultra rare here, strength 4. I mean, that's just insanely low, but a strength 4 dwarven tunnel guard nonetheless has 9 hit points. Man, okay, that's crazy. This is funny that we've had it's just low here. But anyway, so we are if you want to bang spawn tonight, I'm not sending your characters into the Bloodwell tonight because we are still in testing phase. You can see that the Wanderers right here, you can see these ones that are labeled Wanderer. If it's labeled Wanderer, then it means I have inserted the character through the back end, which is different from inserting something into the character's back end. Inserting the character through the back end. And we're going to send the Wanderers into the Bloodwell tonight for testing. But if you are here at any time during the stream, you can hit bang spawn. That's exclamation point spawn. But remember, there is a 30-second global cooldown, which, like Better with Bacon, I see just tried to do a bang spawn, but I bet that you got caught on the cooldown. So try that again. It's a 30-second global cooldown on the exclamation point spawn. But anytime during the stream, you should be able to spawn. And if you do that, you'll be put into the tavern here, so that when we're ready to actually run people through and form actual real adventuring parties, you will already have characters in there. So you can spawn any time tonight. That's pretty cool. We had an ultra rare come up. Oh, Ferris just did another one, an Outcast Town Militia, Con 16. Okay. 6 hit points. Pretty good. Hit points are going to be important here. Okay, so what have I done? I have done a lot. Some of it you won't see in the... some of it you won't see because I did a comprehensive review of all of the code that runs this and basically got it up to speed on best practices. So I did take quite a bit of time because as I was just hacking this together, it wasn't really, I was just hacking it together. And I was like, okay, now it's time to actually take to kind of slow down and try to put this together with best coding practices. And so I did all that. So you won't see a difference here, but there's a major difference in trying to develop things on the back end. So that took quite a bit of time. And then I also got our map working, and that took forever. Last night, I started working, and I was like, all right, I get this map working. And I think I started at like 8 o'clock, and it was like 2 o'clock in the morning before I stopped, and I did get it done. So that's probably going to be the biggest thing that you see. So this is the tavern. So you'll be able to bang spawn into the tavern. Oh, Sable Phoenix just bang spawned in. A Battered Pilgrim. 4 hit points. That is a spellcaster. Has resistance and guidance. Got that one in. Let's see. Okay, so now over here, though, we go to the holding cell. So I have this temporarily set. Let me refresh here. I believe this should be true. Yeah, so I have this temporarily set so that we will only draft Wanderers to go into the Bloodwell. I want to see if Better with Bacon gets the spawn. Bacon had some crazy low characters last time get put in there. Characters are remaining persistence. Oh, there we go. Better with Bacon, a battered antiquarian's assistant. There we go. 4. That's a wizard right there. Perfectly reasonable stats across the board. Strength 8, Dex 9, Con 8, Int 8, Wisdom 13, Charisma 8, HP 4. Has Acid Splash, Mending, and Read Magic. Completely works there. People are having fun bang spawning in. I want to see what PH gets, and if PH... We'll see. But I have it temporarily set so that your characters will hang out in the tavern, and it will just be our Wanderers that are flung in. So I pressed the button, and I drafted Wanderers. And I'm doing that on the back-end database side of things. So this gets us a Scruffy Porter, a Bandit, a Gnome Apprentice Illusionist, Merchant's Guard, Mountebank, Man-at-Arms. We've got 2 different Gnome Illusionists, okay. Wizard's Apprentice, Gnome Tinker, Poacher, Antiquarian's Assistant, and Haggard Bandit go in. Okay, so we're putting Wanderers in. So now we go over to the Bloodwell now. So here's the Bloodwell. I'm going to turn off our console. All All right, so here we are over here in the Bloodwell. And now a lot of work has been done here. So let's deploy those guys to the well. So let's do the deployment. Here we go. Deploy to well. We pull 12 people out. We're drafting monsters. I mean, look what we're doing here. So we pulled everybody successfully. Do I need to increase the size a little bit? Can you see that well enough? There we go. How about that? Okay, so can you see this? So I may have to work on the size and stuff like that. But okay, so we went and grabbed 12 souls from the holding cell and put them in here. I'm going to have to work on my whole threat level drafting bad guys things. But whatever. Okay, we got 10 bad guys in here with us. Constructing the Bloodwell geometry. This Bloodwell geometry was just absolutely ridiculously difficult. So what we have here, and I do have, so here is our map. The map is functional. We're going to check it. I haven't walked through all of the combat step by step, which is what we're going to do tonight, because we may realize there's weird stuff going on or whatever. But I mean, it was working, so we're going to see if it's working right. But I can click zoom in here on the map. There is some weirdness here because this bone pile gets put way out here, and this sparkling chest. So I'm not exactly sure why when I zoom in that stuff kind of goes in different situations. Hey, Robert. Okay, we're just talking to Robert. Oh, and Robert, bang spawned in. I was just saying you need to bang spawn in. Robert, what did Robert get? Robert got a clumsy town watchman with a spear. Perfectly reasonable, 3 hit points. Good to see you. Okay, so I'm not sure why my objects get scattered when I zoom in. I got to fix that. But so that part of the zoom in on the map is kind of working. But you can see that the bone pile must be here in this purple area. This chest, the sparkling chest, is here in this yellow area. But otherwise, we should be able to see what we got here. So as soon as we spawn in, let's see. It is inspired by the Dungeon Pizza, right? So the Bloodwell has radial zones. Now, it would have been easier to do square zones in retrospect, but that's one of the reasons that it was so difficult. It took me hours to actually get the Bloodwell map functioning, is because I don't have square zones. I have I have radial zones. But yeah, so the Bloodwell is inspired by a Dungeon Pizza, exactly. The character gen, yeah. Well, I mean, you could do the kind of same thing and use the DCC rules. You have to code the DCC rules in, but you could. But so, yeah, here we see that everybody starts in the center. So you can see I got the tooltip that if you hover it over it, it'll tell you who. So the Wayward Man-at-Arms, but all the PCs begin in the center. And then also there is a brazier in the center. And the brazier starts at bright illumination. So what we're tracking here, and this is part of what was just, hey, Dad, Mike's here. All right, wonderful. Hey, bang spawn in. Let's get M. Melnick, a character in here. Hit bang spawn. Let's make sure we get Mike a couple of characters in here. Glad to see you. We'll see what Mike gets. But, okay, so the geometry here is complex because so all of the different zones that we can go into. The center zone puts all of the characters in here. And then, what did Mike get? Let's go check this out. Mike got a clumsy mountebank with a dagger, 3 hit points. That perfectly reasonable stats. Okay, so there we go. We got 34 souls, including some wanderers in the tavern right now. So that is fantastic. What was I saying? Okay, so the way this works is that all the characters are standing in the center. Zorn teleports them into the center of the Dungeon Pizza, yes, the Bloodwell, with a brazier that is burning brightly there so they can see, because the light has a lot to do with this. Light levels are additive, but in the absence of anything else, this brazier right here is burning brightly. So that means that we've got bright light in the center zone, which is 1, and then light falls off for most things that have spillover, which are like large light sources, into other zones. So this is a brightly lit zone, and then all of the other zones around it are dimly lit. And you can see that a dimly lit zone is one that is in orange here. And then if you fall off a brazier for one more zone, that becomes shadowy. That's what purple means. I do need to put a legend up on the screen. Putting a legend on here is on the list. I'm generating more things to fix than it seems like as I go. I mean, I've got just pages here of things. Okay, one more thing to fix. So a legend is on here. But then we move out to shadowy. So brightly lit, dimly lit, and then shadowy. If it's black, then it is dark and you cannot see into it. Now, so why do we have brightly lit zones over here? Well, it is because it looks like we have generated another brazier, which is sitting out here in this zone. And I do apologize for this because I didn't get to number the zones. The zones are numbered, but they're not appearing. So this brazier is burning right here. It looks like it's burning at a lower level than the other brazier, but it also has fall off, and that light levels are additive. So when we have this other brazier there that is adding light, and this overlap over here, which is why we can see that it's more brightly lit. Let's see. So what are these lines here? The lines are walls. Right now we have two different kinds of walls. We have high walls and we have low walls. The yellow is a low wall, and that will block movement, but will not block line of sight. The way it's done right now, it blocks movement, but does not block line of sight. It does make light illumination fall off by one additional level. So if you ordinarily would be dimly illuminated, if the light has to traverse a low wall, then you become shadowy illumination. The red right here, the red lines are high walls, and that blocks both movement and sight. So you won't be able to move, and you also won't be able to see over a red wall, and that also the red walls block all light as well. So that's how we're getting the light geometry of the Bloodwell. Let me see what we've got over here. Let's see here. Robert says, so somehow you hooked into YouTube API with the JavaScript app, or are you just manually importing the characters from the bot in the chat? No, that's automated. That's Nightbot is in here, and is taking care of that. That's why the bang spawn, Nightbot reads the bang spawn commands and interacts with the database. That's why you can bang spawn in and use the bang commands at any time. Well, some of the bang commands are limited based on where you are and where your character is. But that's why I can be doing whatever else, narrating whatever on the screen, on the stream, and you can bang spawn in because I don't have to handle that. Let's see. What else? Okay, so we've got different objects in here as well. We can see we got different objects for people to interact with. Over here is a bone pile. I bet that's in this. Looks like it's in this one right here. We have a sparkling chest right here. Chests, any chest that is sparkling is also its own light source. So the chest is sparkling here. That's why this one is well illuminated. That way you will always see a sparkling chest. This is a chest. We got a chest right here. We have a large chest right here. We have a small chest right over here. We have a small chest right over there. Okay, lots of chests came up. We have a small pile of coins right there. We have a bone pile over there. We have a small pile of coins over here, and we also have a pile of coins. So I've added some things and some treasure for people to go and get. So there are, and now that functionality isn't working yet, other than it will draw people to them. But as far as like adding stuff to the inventory yet, it's not doing that. But I was trying to get like the AI functionality of all the characters moving around. So that's what we're seeing up there at the on the map. And again, these are scattered, and I'm not sure why. We'll fix that. And that bone pile, I think, is sitting right over here. It probably has something to do. I think it's probably because we're. It looks to me like we're doing, since we have radial zones, we might end up, when we're going multiplying for the zoom, we may be getting some type of exponential or something on the radius that's not putting it in its correct zone. The image, that dot. So I'll fix that. That's on the list. But that's what we got. You will not see any bad guys right now. Now, right now, it's kind of giving it away because we said it spawned 10 threats. I don't want that to be up there in the beginning or ultimately. But that helps us understand what is going on because we spawned 10 threats here. So all of the threats spawn on this edge. So the edge, the final zones right here, those I'm calling the void. And you will notice that the void is immune to light. The void is always dark. So the bad guys start in the void, the monsters start in the void, and they will be coming toward the heroes in the center. Void is magical darkness. Robert says, so what do we do? Well, nothing right now. Now, okay, I see that Sable was trying to bang in greed. Okay, but see, like changing up your greed and your zeal only work if your character is in the holding cell. And right now, there are no characters in the holding cell. We put wanderers into the holding cell, and then we move the wanderers from the holding cell into the Bloodwell. So you can change your zeal and your greed when you're in the holding cell. And that's how people for level 0 characters are going to be able to change up the way they play. Now, at the moment, I meant to fix that too, but I didn't have time before I went live. Right now, all of the wanderers have both a default of 3 for both zeal and greed, which means they all have the same personality. So actually what I want to do is I want to change this up so that if you have a random character that is generated, like when you bang spawn, I want it to randomly generate a personality for you for how much greed and how much zeal. But then I'll still allow you to adjust that while you're in the holding cell. So that way, if that way we won't have a whole bunch of people who are both 3 and 3. Right, with the same personality in there. There'll be random personalities assigned, but you'll be able to bang greed and bang zeal to change that up while you're in the holding cell. Once your character moves into, for a 0th level character, once the 0th level character moves into the Bloodwell, you are in the hands of your personality to make decisions. I do have I have an option here. This is the GM view. I can check right here. Right now, it is showing all of the objectives. This is also on the to-do list. So this is all of the objectives that are out there on the Bloodwell. I've got the brazier in zone 1. There's a bone pile in zone 2. We start at zone 1 and we spiral. I believe we spiral in this way out. There is a bone pile of small coins in zone 5, etc., etc., etc. This is probably listing the locations of even ones that are in the dark, which it should not do. So we have a little bit of a spoiler over here. I just haven't been able to fix that yet. But ordinarily, this should just list all of the objectives that are currently visible and their zone. I do have to get the zones numbered. I can click this button here, though. And this is the GM's view. So if we need this for the sake of our play testing and stepping through things right here, if I click GM's view, then that turns all fog of war off and allows me to see everything in every location. So now I can see that some things in the dark, like, okay, there's a chest over here, but it can't be seen. It's in the dark right now. There's a bone pile over here on the outer ring. That's another bone. We're generating a lot of bone piles. I guess that's suitable for a Bloodwell. That's another bone pile. Okay, lots of bone piles. Blood fountain right there. That's in the dark. And then over here, we've got the gel or the gel, whichever one you want to say, that are over here around tiny green gel over here, tiny green gel 7. We ended up generating a lot of those guys. Like I said, my bad guy generation is not nailed down. 4 and 5, and the harpy fledgling over here. And also, I'm not real happy with my bad guys right now. They're working right now for the simulation, but we're going to improve the bad guys. Got another gel and a giant bat. Okay, so we can track that. So that's with the GM's view. I can turn it off though for the purposes of the stream or whatever. We just want to see, and we did also take off the threats there. So when you say GM's view, that gives you the location of all of the different monsters and their current health and all of that. So there we go. Turn that off. So, okay. So now, yeah, I'm going. I keep going. Okay. So now the initiative deck has been shuffled. So we have initiative right here. If I hit play round, it's going to send these guys out, and I'm going to pause it like basically after every guy and just assess what happened, because I just want to make sure that this is reasonable. So if I hit play round, okay, this says greed takes over. Okay, so you see, now I need this to be more obvious, but you can see right here in gold, whoever is up is slid to the top. So right now, the eager gnome apprentice is up, who is just moved to zone 7. It moves a bit fast, but which I want to slow down. But you can see that I've got gold around the eager gnome apprentice, and you can also see that like we have the sonar blip right over here, which is indicating who is active right now. So that is the eager gnome's apprentice right over here. He just moved. It says, so what happened here? Greed overtakes an eager gnome apprentice illusionist. They lock eyes on a pile of coins small. Pile of coins. That says pile of coins. Maybe that's it. Pile of coins small, but he is moving in that direction. Oh, no. So the small pile of coins, see, this is why it moves a bit too fast. But I see that in zone 7, there was that small pile of coins. So an eager gnome apprentice loots the pile of coins and uncovers 1 coin. Okay, I haven't put in all the stuff yet. But he did see a pile of coins. He was the first one to go. He saw a pile of coins in 7, moved out there and picked it up. The pile of coins is now depleted. So you can see over here, that's X'd it out. So as far as our objectives go, pile of coins that was in zone 7 has been taken. And so he, steps into zone 7. There we go. Okay, let's resume. Let's see. Greed. Let's see. Yeah, exactly. No, well, that's why my format right here, like, is obviously. Oh, well, Sable says this is actually crazy. It's like what any text adventure from back in the day wishes it could have been, right? And I'm highly inspired by the text-based adventures, like my CSS styling and all of that. So obviously, I'm running this definitely text-based adventure styling. But the idea of Zorn's dungeon I've had for 20 years, and that was text-based adventure style. I didn't have all the ideas about the live streaming kind of part of this, because that didn't exist. But I've been trying to make like a text-based fantasy adventure called Zorn's Dungeon, where Zorn is a goblin who runs this like constructed dungeon environment for 20 years. And now it's finally working. So yeah, it is highly inspired by text-based adventures. So now, okay. Greed overtakes a wayward man-at-arms. They lock eyes on a bone pile. They loot the bone pile. Okay, so there was a bone pile in zone 2. He moved up to zone 2. He uncovers nothing. But okay, he was drawn by the bone pile and he took it. And now he is over there in zone 2. Okay, so then now, see, this tells me that a giant bat dashes through zone 27 and pushes into zone 18. Now, we don't see that over here. Really, it shouldn't be saying this over here. Because I don't want it to say, hey, a giant bat is now in zone 18. It is for our purposes right now, but I want it to say something like a monster lumbers in the dark or something. So there's some kind of monster that goes, but Giant Bat 1 moved from zone 27 to zone 18. Hopefully, if I turn on the GM view, yes, the Giant Bat who was up here, you can either move and attack, or move and perform an action, or perform an action and then move. Or if you're not performing an action, you may move twice. So that's why the bat moved through 2 zones. So the bat came in. Looks like we are tracking him correctly. The players can't see him, but we got a giant bat right over there. The bat ignores the darkness, of course. And I do want to put in the code here for like the dwarves having infravision. Nobody has infravision right now. But that did appropriately track the bat. Right, lots of greedy adventurers at the moment, and I think they're right now overly greedy because the way I'm going to balance the greed right now, the greed is drawing you toward the treasure, and of course you change your greed and your zeal, but that what the zeal needs to do is move you toward monsters because I want to work with the hit points. This is a hack of OSE, so I'm using, the experience points. This is a hack of OSE, so I'm going to use a lot of the experience points tables from OSE. I mean, the characters are using the same experience tables for leveling up, but I'm going to change up the way that you get experience so that like you have to participate in the battle in order to get experience. And by participate, I don't mean just run around and get treasure. So I haven't written this out yet, but if you're more zealous, then you're going to be drawn to more monsters in order to get experience points. So it's possible that you could come into the Bloodwell, at least on paper. You can. Where was I just saying? I completely lost my train of thought. I saw a comment which I want to respond to. Oh, so higher zeal characters will seek out monsters because they want the XP. So it's possible if you're going to be high greed, you might be able to, we're still playtesting, but you might be able to survive the Bloodwell without ever actually participating in the conflict and come out with treasure. But if you're high zeal, but no XP because you didn't actually participate in the battle. But if you are high zeal, you're going to be participating and you're going to get more of the experience points. So you're going to be more likely to level. That's where I'm going with this. That's where I'm going with it. That's not completely balanced right here. We're just trying to get, this is the first time we've had the actual AI working at all. But that's kind of where I'm going. So do you want treasure or do you want experience points? That's kind of the trade-off that we've got here. So Sable Phoenix asked, do the greed and zeal commands affect all of your characters currently in the well, or can you choose one? The greed and zeal commands do not work if you are in the Bloodwell. The ideal, at least for 0th level characters, the ideal, that's the reason that we have the holding cell. One of the reasons that we have the holding cell, and there'll also be a timer before we go from the holding cell into the Bloodwell, is that that's when you change your greed and your zeal. Right now, the Bang Zeal and Bang Greed commands do not work once you're in the well. Once you're in the well, you're locked into what you've got. I am working on ways to make it potentially interactive during the Bloodwell. Potentially. I'm still working on that and thinking through that. But for the moment and for the short-term foreseeable future, you will change your character's personality while they are in the holding cell. So, and that's the way it's working there. And then also is the default setting for any given character 0 or 3. It's 3. So by default, all of the characters in this Bloodwell right now are 3 zeal and 3 greed. Also, does treasure allow you to do something outside of the well? Why would you want treasure as opposed to XP? Well, we're going to have you be able to, you'll be able to buy things later. And treasure may not, right now, treasure is just coins. But treasure in this might not just be coins. At least I'm thinking as we go. If you open up a treasure chest, you might find a potion of healing, or you might find a potion of defense, or you might find some other object that would be immediately helpful to you in the Bloodwell or in the future. So treasure, and treasure, you're also going to have to pay coins in order to go to the infirmary eventually. Do you want to be able to buy things or do you want XP? So Sable says, okay, well, in the holding cell, is it universally across all characters or can you choose any individuals? Right now, it is universally across all characters. If you have more than one character in the holding cell and you hit Bang Zeal or Bang Greed, it changes all of those characters' zeal and greed at the same time. And that's the fallback position to keep there from being some type of something breaks. The like, I got more than one character or it picks up one character. So right now, when you Bang Zeal or Bang Greed, it changes all of your characters that are currently in the Bloodwell according to that command. In the future, when we have more people, I'm going to change it up so that every person can only have one character in the holding cell anyway. So if you've got, if we got a bunch of other people here, or if we've, people have bang spawned in, I don't want one person to randomly have 4 characters in the adventuring party. So that will just mean that you're changing the one in the holding cell. But right now it changes all of them. But in the future, I'm planning on limiting it to 1 player per character in the adventuring party at a time. Whew. Great questions. Okay, so then the mountebank, a calloused mountebank, locked eyes on a small pile of coins. There are lots of coins that are around here. Picked up some coins, and then stepped into zone 5. Okay, there we go. What's next? Okay, we got a Gel that pushed through, and then a tiny green Gel 1. A calloused mountebank readies their weapon, focusing on the Gel. Okay, so we actually had so now we actually have the players seeing a bad guy. So tiny green, I'm going to say Gel, but whatever. Tiny green Gel number 3 has stepped up here and is now visible to the heroes. So we've got this person over here. It's only a 1 hit point monster. It's just a tiny Gel. But it is now visible to the heroes right there, or our PCs, whatever they are, whether or not they're heroic or not. So they should start responding to this. So let's see. This is extremely complex. BGD says, yes, this is a complex program. It is. I chose the most complicated thing I could possibly do as a starting project here. I've never done anything like this. And now I'm thinking that my other games, like War of Kings, if I were to develop those again, I would definitely develop it in this same kind of way. But man, something like Enchantress, something like War of Kings, those games would be so much easier to implement in this. Like trying to implement a role-playing game is like jumping into the deep end. Like it completely has been. Okay, so we should be responding to that. So the calloused mountebank dashes through zone 6 and into zone 7. This guy right here. Okay. Oh, I don't know where that is. Go right there. An eager wizard's apprentice dashes through zone 7 and pushes to 15. An irritable merchant's guard readies their weapon, focusing on the tiny Gel 3, and dashes through zone 7 and into 15. So yeah, that's him. So he is seeing this Gel and he is moving into attack. We'll keep going here. They're headed toward the Gel. Tiny green Gel. We have another one. Okay, so another Gel has appeared in zone 24. A battered gnome tinker readies their weapon, focusing on the other Gel, and is heading from 7 to 15. So we're kind of stacking up over here around this other brazier right here. A scruffy porter readies their weapon and basically does the same thing. So we've seen bad guys. Well, we just had some damage happen right here. So an ill-equipped poacher attacks the third Gel in zone 24 with a melee hit, which is D4. When we were looking at the combat simulator the other day, I have not gotten back to the battle simulator. I just haven't had time yet. Talking about complexity, BGD is right. The whole battle system is rather complex, and I didn't want to. And I'm not through it yet. I have not battle tested the main battle system to the point where I was comfortable inserting it into this project. So what we've got here is a scaled down version of the battle system. I had to put the battle system in because I put in some of the AI, and then I put in stubs. So it would say like, okay, this guy attacks the Gel, or this person attacks the hero or whatever. And but it wouldn't actually do anything. So once you've identified a target, people just like accumulated and started attacking each other. So I had to input something so that you would actually lose hit points. So that people will start to make other decisions rather than just stack up in the zones. So we're not going to look too closely at the actual combat mechanic. We're going to have to do that later. For instance, right now I don't have the shattering of the helmet in, and the shattering of the shield in. That's not there yet. So this is a much simplified version of combat, just for the purposes of working through the whole kind of game loop right here. So it looks like an ill-equipped poacher attacks Gel 3 for D4 hits, taking 3 physical damage. So we do see that we recorded the wound. Now, that's not the way that I ultimately want to record wounds, but we are recording wounds. So the Gel took 3 points of physical damage, was reduced to -2 hit points. Monsters die when they hit 0. So that's why you see over here the Gel is grayed out and slid to the bottom, because Tiny Green Gel is now dead. Sable says, this reminds me of a sort of auto-battler game that I played once at Strategicon in LA. You choose your race, weapons, and fighting style, and it would automatically do a series of matches each hour, randomly rolling the matches as modified by your character's choices and report you back the results. Turned out the tippy top of the heap would be something like a dwarf berserker dual-wielding shields. It was an actual match too, Dwarf Fortress style. The match results printed out as a series of attacks and results with striking body parts. Yeah, so this is kind of true. So like I can't do this and require decisions on the behalf of on somebody watching on the stream, because you could get up and leave. Like, what would I do if, like, okay, it's this dwarf's turn and it's run by Bob 472, but Bob 472 has gotten up and had to do something else because his wife called him away. Well, I can't sit here and stop the stream while Bob 472, does nothing. It's got to automate through that. Later in the future, and maybe especially for characters that are not 0th level, there might be a way to be interactive in the Bloodwell, but that's down the line. That's down the line. Okay, so we have killed a Gel here. Let's resume. Let's see. A dust-covered gnome apprentice illusionist is focused on the green Gel and rushes toward it. Gel Tiny Green 4 dashes from zone 35 and pushes into 34. So, you can see we're kind of closing, and this is the GM's view. So we can see we're kind of got monsters moving in on this side and over here. Tiny Green Gel. The irritable Merchant's Guard readied their weapon, focused on the Tiny Green Gel, and killed it. Okay, and then went into zone 24. The Harpy dashes through zone 34 and pushes into 33. Gel 8 goes to zone 19. Gel 5, 24, 7, 24, 6, 24. Oh, so the Gels are attracted to those heroes up there. Anxious Bandit dashes through zone 7. Oh, the Haggard Bandit, though. A Haggard Bandit locks eyes on the small chest and is headed toward the small chest. So he got attracted by this over here. We've got a radial dispersal of the characters and objects that are in any particular zone, which is good enough for right now. But so that's why it looks like he's right now kind of off of it, like in the center or like on a line. But he's with that treasure chest. Oh, the antiquarian's assistant is also going for the chest. I don't know why it tells me the Gel does something and then round 2 begins. I have to make sure that I got this straight. But it looks like, okay, that is now the Gel's turn, and Gel 4 dash through zone 33 and into zone 24. That concludes round 1. Everybody had a turn. Now the initiative deck is reshuffled, taking into account everybody's like dexterity or any type of special abilities. The initiative deck is reshuffled now, and now we go in a new order according to the deck, drawing cards one by one. So I can play round 2, and let's see what happens with round 2. Gnomus Apprentice dashes through. Oh, hang on, going too fast. Dashes from zone 15 to 24. The giant bat now goes into zone 24. Everybody's fighting over here on this side. Yeah, there's the giant bat. The giant bat is fighting over here as well. The ill-equipped poacher attacks the tiny green gel and kills it with 2 points of physical damage. Gel 5 is destroyed. The calloused mountebank readies their weapon, focused on tiny green gel 7, and starts to charge toward it. Okay. Let's see. Looks like Gel 6 was destroyed. So our heroes are actually doing all right now. Calloused Mountebank attacks Tiny Green Gel 4, but the blow was entirely deflected. I wonder how that happened. A Haggard Bandit is over there with that chest. He opens it up and loots it. So now that chest is gone. And then goes into Zone 13. The Haggard... Okay, a Harpy Fledgling attacks the ill-equipped poacher in Zone 24 with a D6 melee attack. An ill-equipped poacher takes 5 physical damage and drops to -3. Surprisingly, only now we've had our first PC casualty. So the Harpy attacked the ill-equipped poacher for 5 points of damage, dropped him to -3. I haven't got the sophisticated death saves in here yet either. Have not got that in here. Ill-equipped poacher takes 5 and now is dead. So that dropped over here. You can see up here at the top is whoever went last, or went first rather. Once you die, it drops you to the bottom. So the Wanderer, oh, it says Zone Grave. He's not in the graveyard yet. Zone Grave should still be the zone where you died. Little point here. Okay, so Wanderer died. Apprentice. Whoa, wait, somebody got hit big right here. An irritable merchant's guard attacks Tiny Green Gel number 7 and scores a critical hit, giving him 15 points of damage, dropping the Gel to -14 hit points. That is a grievous physical wound. The Gel is destroyed. Oh, and then the irritable merchant's guard stepped up and attacked the Harpy and destroyed the Harpy with 5 physical points of damage. Scruffy Porter takes out a Gel, one of the tiny, they're just 1 hit point things anyway. The Gel, Tiny Green Gel number 7 attacks an eager wizard's apprentice with a D6, rolling a critical hit, giving the eager wizard's apprentice 8 points of physical damage, dropping that person to -7 and now dead. That is a tremendous physical wound. The eager wizard's apprentice has fallen. Gel number 1's coming in. So Gel number 6 attacks the eager gnome's apprentice. And attacks him for 2 physical points. That gnome. Okay, so we can see right over here. So here we have a character who is wounded but still alive. So the eager gnome apprentice illusionist has 1 of 3 hit points remaining. So you can see that we're tracking with the red health bar, which will become more exciting as characters level up and have more hit points. But now that eager gnome is wounded and hanging on at 1 of 3. And you can see that it reports the wound underneath. So that is a 2-point wound that has been done to the Wanderer. Remember, we are keeping track of wounds individually because that matters for healing and everything else. So we have a 2-point physical wound on this gnome. He is hanging on there, 1 out of 3. Let's see. Yeah. We did have that life. we now have blood. So now here's the question. So now, well, that's why I do want to be sure that the zone remains. Now, what does does whatever a character was carrying drop on top of their corpse for someone else to pick up later? Not right now, but I think that will be fun because I think it would be fun to implement. I mean, we'll implement things as we go. I'm trying to get the whole game loop just down. Then I can come by and we can start to upgrade each individual part of the game. But right now, You can't loot corpses, but I want you to be able to. If you're a Zeal 1 Greed 5 character and you see, oh my God, one of my allies just died and became a corpse. Do I want to go fight that harpy over there, or do I want to pick over his corpse? I think that should be an option that is in there. I feel like that's something that that could be in there. But at the moment, I don't think that happens. But yes, we need to have that in there. I'm going to put that in here. That's a later thing. There's the can I get this running, and then there are things like that to add, which can go as soon as the whole game loop is finished. Like loot PC corpses. I definitely think that should be in there. What do the wounds mean if there are HP totals as well? So we did look at this in detail last time, but you have to heal individual wounds, but wounds heal in parallel. So if you would rather take, and they heal in real time. So you would rather take 5 1-point wounds than 1 5-point wound. Also, you can use the critical care skill on each individual wound, and if you have a successful roll of the critical care skill, only once per wound, you get to reduce that wound by 1 hit point, which increases your total hit points, obviously. And then also in this game, and I haven't gotten to test this yet, but last time we said that we have real-time healing. That if it takes the number of the wound severity, number of days to heal for each point. So, for instance, this gnomish apprentice illusionist has taken 2 points of damage. That means it will actually take 3 days of real time once he gets out of the Bloodwell to heal those 2 points. He's taken a 2-point wound, so it'll take him 2 days. It's actually 48 hours of real time to heal back 1 hit point for that wound. Then he will have a 1-point wound. It'll take him another 24 hours to heal that wound completely. But your wounds heal in parallel. So if you have 5 1-point wounds, every one of those wounds heals in 24 hours. If you have 5 1-point wounds, you'll be completely healed and ready to go in 24 hours. If you have a 5-point wound, it'll take you 5 days of real time to heal 1 point. Did the clumsy watchman go? I'm not sure. Well, the clumsy, you should be able to tell. Well, I'm not. That's a good point. I don't have an easy way to tell who is not gone this turn, but I need that. Easy way to tell. And which are still up. Still potentially able to be drawn. I like this because ideas like we need that. Yes, potentially able to be drawn. Because I do not have an easy way to tell whether or not that character is still, needs to go in round 2 or not. Would have to look back through the combat law. Able to be drawn. Let's see. Hey, Doc. Welcome, Doc Flamingo. No, is there going to be a maximum number of characters any one player can spawn in each given round? Not right now. Not right now. Right, you're going to be building up a stable that can be randomly drawn from. And you guys, since you guys are here like right now, that's why you can bang spawn in and build up your stable. Because there is a stable that you can draw from. There will only so with what Mike is saying here, the plan is to only have one. There's only one active character per person. You can have 6 characters in the tavern. You can bang spawn 6 or 8 characters in the tavern, no problem. Right now, I'm just randomly drawing from the tavern to move people into the holding cell. So you might end up with more than one character in the holding cell to send to the Bloodwell. But in the future, you can have as many characters as you want, but you're only going to have one character active in the Bloodwell at a time. Let's see. Wounds. All right, got it. There we go. Okay. So there we go. I mean, if there are only like 4 of us on stream, then it makes sense to have somebody in with multiple characters. If they're going to be 50 people on stream, then it makes sense to say everybody can have one in the Bloodwell at a time. An irritable flagellant is wiping mud off their boots near the hearth. Okay, so the gnome has suffered this physical wound here. Okay, so next. Gel 5 attacks the eager gnome apprentice. Don't we have... Oh, that was the guy who already sustained damage, wasn't it? Eager, yep, he already sustained damage. So Gel number 5 attacks eager gnome apprentice for D6, taking 2 physical points of damage, dropping him to -1, a minor physical wound. The eager gnome apprentice has now fallen. The dust cover gnome apprentice illusionist, like, I guess, eager to avenge his comrade, readies their weapon and focuses on the giant bat. Does hit the giant bat, but that blow is entirely absorbed or deflected. And I'm not exactly sure how that is happening. But, okay, so nothing right there. And now he's in zone 24. The battered gnome tinker. Man, these gnomes, they're going in to avenge their fallen brethren. So the battered gnome tinker steps up and is able to slay the bat. Okay. Wayward Man-at-Arms continues in. That's the tiny green Gel. Okay, here we go. That's number 8. Anxious Bandit goes up and destroys tiny green Gel number 8. That's what we were just looking at up here. And that is how we end round 2. So how are we doing? GM's view. The only thing remaining is 1 tiny green Gel. So our heroes are actually doing all right. And like I said, I have not even pretended that we've balanced this out yet. Because I think we actually need to generate more bad guys. I did some work with trying to generate the monsters, but then I stopped just to be able to get something on the board to see how it's playing. So my threat drafting, my type of monsters, whatever, that has not been yet. We still have some chests out there and some piles of coins, which have been ignored once battle actually started. Let's see. And that is kind of by design. Once blood starts flying, the PCs start to panic, and we'll get more. Blood starts once PCs start dropping, the other PCs will get more interested in making sure they fight off bad guys instead of getting treasure. Let's go to round 3. Let's just see here. Anxious Bandit takes a moderate physical wound. Small chest has been depleted. Everybody's heading over to take out this last guy here. Oh, and somebody got it. So the weary antiquarian's assistant attacked the green Gel 1, dropped the Gel, and now victory. The threats have been cleared. So we ended up with only 3 deaths in that one. This is why I'm not sending your characters through here yet, because we haven't got everything sorted yet. But you can see that where we are. I mean, this is we've got a game here. Now, whether or not the AI and the brains are working right, and of course the bad guys, their stats and their drafting is not right. But you can see where everybody ended up. I mean, everybody scattered. Now, there we go. Nobody was casting spells. I mean, there's a lot more to add in here. But that basically worked. So victory. The threats have been cleared. We lost 3 PCs, which is light. I mean, that's very light. And then 1 PC is coming out of here wounded. The Anxious Bandit has taken a 3-point physical wound and has 1 of 4 remaining. So that the Anxious Bandit only barely made it out. But that concludes the Bloodwell. Let's see. So yeah, for minor bad guys, they're doing well against the adventurers. Yeah. So, I mean, that part is not balanced yet. Sometimes I would get completely caught up on trying to do something that's like minor. Like it did take me forever to get the map working. So the map's working, but that wasn't necessarily minor. We needed a good working map in order to be able to visualize the situation. But I got lots of things that like I would want to do, and like looting a corpse and things like that. So these ideas are down here, but I'm trying to push forward. Like, let me get some type of combat functionality here that allows me to run all the way through the whole system, and then we can go back and we can improve every single part of it, or any part of it that we want to, and add more stuff to it. So thank you. Cool system. Thank you. So that concludes the Bloodwell. So as this first live test, so that was 3 rounds. So, I mean, I don't know how, we probably need more bad guys, but that was, that one generated a lot of bad guys, but they were all like 1 point tiny green gells. So, I mean, basically one little hit and it would take them out. But now I can go over here. So the next thing after that, Bloodwell completed. Victory for the PCs. Over here, so this is the winch room, which has not got a whole lot done yet, but I can say turn the winch. Let's see if this works. And this does not look like it needs to look, but just trying to get the functioning here. Turn the winches. Bring the heroes up, and then this will give us our stats. And I want there to be a whole lot of stats about what actually happened while they were down there in the Bloodwell. But this brings everybody who was in the Bloodwell back up. And so we can say that there were 12 people were extracted. 12 people went in. That makes sense. 12 people were extracted, but 3 of them were corpses. We ended up with 3 killed in actions here, 3 KIAs. And we had 5 critical wounds suffered, but I want to have a lot more stats about, what happened while they were in the Bloodwell. That's all I've got right now. So here in the winch room, we can see that this guy's dead, this guy's dead, this guy's dead, and we have only the anxious bandit here who is alive, who has a hot wound. Like I noticed right now, like I said, I have not done that much work with the winch room, but I can see that it's registering the dead people's wounds as hot, which does make sense because that's how I've coded it at the moment. But if you're dead, you can't your wounds aren't hot anymore. You can't do any healing for the wounds. I want to know how much treasure everybody got out of this. This is where we would sort through the XP and find out how many XP everybody gets and if they level up. If you're level 0 here and you got enough to be level 1, then we'll promote you to level 1. And then also, really, it's the least that Zorn can do. We have the ability to deploy goblin medics, but I don't think that's coded yet, which anybody who is alive and is wounded and who did not receive critical care in the Bloodwell, I'll be able to deploy goblin medics and try to, do a field patch on you. I mean, Zorn's not employing clerics here to, cast magic on you. But he does have some goblin medics that will come in and try to patch up some of the wounds. And then from there, which I really want to, this worked, but if I push past this, there will be, what's the next location after the winch room? There will be 3 potential locations after the winch room. If you are dead, then we will go to the graveyard. And by the way, I am time stamping the time everybody dies. So if you are dead when you come out of the winch room, they send you for burial. So you go for burial. If you are wounded and you have enough coin to pay your medical care fees, then you will go to the infirmary where you will be able to heal faster than that standard rate that I was talking about. Only if you can pay for it. If you can't pay for it, then you are sent to the stable, which is stabling your character. They made it through. Phew. Now they are in the stable. We'll make that like the name of an inn, the stable. So you stable the character. So you can be at the infirmary, you can be in the graveyard, or you can be in the stable. And then what will complete the loop is if I have a command then that will be bang activate. If you bang activate the name of a character, then you bring a character from the stable or the infirmary. Hey, if you're wounded, but hey, I want to go in again. Hey, your choice. If you bang activate a character, then your character will move from either the stable or the infirmary back to the tavern and be eligible for the next draft. That will close the entire game loop. So I'm trying to push forward, and I don't know if I can do it or not, but rather than trying to get all the nuances of combat worked out right this second, I'd rather have the basic combat working and get my whole loop going so that I can get you to the infirmary or the stable and then back into the tavern and complete the loop. And once I do that, the game loop itself will be complete. The game will be complete, and it will just be upgrading every part of the game that we want to as we go. That's what I'm thinking. Whew. Okay. Yep. I'll see you later. We're about almost done here too. We're almost done. Let's see. Yep. Well, yes. Goblin medics with their flamethrowers and hacksaws. Exactly. Chop and cauterize, but hey, at least it's getting done, right? Yeah, yes, that's winch W-I, not winch room W-E. That would be very different. If you're successful and you become a hero, you get to go to the winch room W-E-N-C-H. Yes, we can have another winch room. That's very different. Okay, well, gee, okay, we just went through one. I'm not sure if everything makes sense, but okay, that's where I am. That's where I am right now. We're going to have to move through the Bloodwell faster. Of course, I was explaining a whole bunch of things and answering questions and things like that, which is natural in the beginning. But ideally, we want to be able to process people through the Bloodwell, because it is the level 0 funnel, right? Like, we're trying to figure out how we get to some level 1 heroes to go and do something else. So that's why I put 12 of them into the Bloodwell. We need to process this so that, we get some characters through the Bloodwell. We don't need to be spending like a whole hour when actually during gameplay later on, like running a Bloodwell. We need to be moving past that faster. Sable says, this is really freaking impressive, Heath. Thank you. This is so much fun. This is one of those ideas that's been in the back of because I have tons of ideas, but this one's been in the back of my mind for a long, long time. And it just so happens, and I've tried several times to make it work, but I couldn't because the tech wasn't there for someone like me. Now, all of a sudden, the tech is there for someone like me who I can sit down and actually build something like this. So I got things to do on Friday and Saturday, and tomorrow I might have to just take a break and rest my mind and work outside on the yard. But I plan on keeping my head down on this and over the next week, and I really would love to be able to close the gameplay loop. I would love it even if like the combat isn't fully done yet, if we could close the whole game loop next stream or the stream after that. Maybe by next week. The whole yeah, that's a pretty good goal. By the stream next Wednesday. This is Wednesday. I've even lost track of time. By next Wednesday, it would be a great goal if the entire game loop were complete. No, this is mainly just I've been using I have not used Claude at all. I know that Claude is really good, but I have not used Claude at all. I've been using Gemini. This has mainly been a Gemini project. As far as that goes, I think it's been entirely a Gemini project. Whew. Okay. Well, that's it. Okay. I don't know. I'm gonna go. I've been weary today. So we're gonna see. I'm probably gonna go have a drink or something, but try to be in bed in like an hour or so, and then be fresh for tomorrow. So that's where I am. And so I believe I might be at the gaming table next Sunday night. So that might mean we have to meet again on Monday. We'll meet again on Sunday or Monday, depending on whether I'm at the gaming table on Sunday. I think I'm playing with BGD on Sunday. And then we need to have the whole game loop finished by next Wednesday. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for being here. Please do like the stream, everything. I will see you later. Have a wonderful, wonderful night. Later.